Welcome everybody from near and from afar. For many, many years, Canadian civil society actors, non-governmental organizations, citizens groups, unions, research-based organizations, and churches have been active in education for development activities. We have been early and consistent supporters of the idea that every person deserves a right to learn, regardless of the circumstances into which they were born. Today, we strongly endorse the Millennium Development Goals, particularly those related to education. And we, the members of the Canadian Global Campaign for Education, are committed to working in new ways for the achievement of education for all. I want to begin by congratulating the Canadian government for its efforts to improve the quality and the scope of Canadian aid to education. We recognize that a small revolution has taken place in our foreign aid program, where funding for education is now 4 times what it was in the year 2000. But we also recognize that there is a lot of room for improvement. Sadly, the Millennium Development Target of giving girls and women an equal chance to learn by 2005 has now been missed. Today, more than 105 million children and 880 million adults, many of them female, are being denied a fundamental right, the right to learn. On current trends, there is very little chance that the second of the Millennium Goals, that every child will have a chance at a quality primary education, will be realized by 2015. What is the appropriate scope and form of Canada's role in solving this global problem? That's exactly what our forum tonight and tomorrow will address. My own view is that we have a very critical contribution to make. We must do more to support Southern citizens' capacity to demand their right to an education. But to play this role, it requires that we in Canada find new ways of working among ourselves and with our Southern counterparts. We also need to hold the Canadian government to better account. Today, an international report card was released that reveals that despite the very important increases in Canadian aid to education, Canada still needs to do more to give the world's children a chance to learn. Only through the commitment of the internationally recognized target, the Pearson target, of providing 0.7% of Canada's gross national income to solve issues of world poverty can we hope to make the grade in meeting the goal of education for all. We also need our government to integrate its support for the universal right to education and other human rights into all of our foreign policies, not just our foreign aid program. Commitment to basic rights, basic human rights like education, must be woven through our approaches to international trade, to defense and security, and in our programs of diplomacy. Minister Carroll and Minister Iano, please let me now thank you for attending this event tonight. As you may know, many of us have been working across Canada to build a strong community of support for an expanding role for Canada in the achievement of basic education for all. Our efforts are linked to events in over 100 countries, where thousands of children, thousands of families will be addressing their legislators and their leaders about their right to learn this week. To welcome you tonight, we've invited students from 2 of the many Canadian schools that have been actively studying the right to education and the problem of education for all. So please can we welcome Minister Carroll, Minister Iano to the stage, and also the children from the Institute for Child Study at the University of Toronto and Toronto's Princess Margaret Junior School.